Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us.
We've got a lot of sports to talk about today. It's time for the Rocky Top Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone. It is time for your Rocky Top Sports Report. I'm Riley Altum.
And I'm Kylie Atchison, bringing you up to date on all things sports here on Rocky Top.
Kylie and I had the chance to go to Indianapolis to cover the Vols Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games.
Here's a recap of what went down.
Tennessee has lost 2 games in a row to Kentucky. This will really be their game to decide whether or not they want to come up on top. So I think the fans can have a big deciding factor with that.
The Vols are headed to the Elite 8.
I had the chance to talk to 2 volunteer legends this weekend.
Not only was this Sunday many Tennessee Vols' last time on the court, but the Vol Network's Bob Kesling and Burt Bertelkamp's last broadcast of their careers.
As the final score again from Indianapolis, it was Houston 69 and Tennessee 50. So this Bob Kesling for Burt Bertelkamp, Bobby Rader, John Wilkerson, everybody else at the Vol Network, thanks for being with us, and so long from Indy.
We were fortunate enough to sit down with Bob and Burt right before what would be their final time calling a Tennessee game.
You know, it's been so busy, normal schedule, doing games and doing interviews and coaching shows. I haven't even thought about a final game.
Well, I have. I've thought about it.
Not only their 26-year experience, but their dynamic is what made the two such an iconic duo.
You know, you've got a job to do, and the job is to report the game and get the score right and make sure you know who's got the ball. Now, Bert's a guy who doctors things up a little bit.
Yeah, I got to go with the flow of the game. Bob has a lot more responsibility and a lot tougher job than I do. I'm the guy sitting at home watching TV, commenting on the game and trying to explain what's going on for the listeners.
And yelling at the referees.
And yelling at the referees and second-guessing the coach.
The two have formed quite a unique bond through these 26 years and have also developed some unique pregame superstitions.
This can get a little personal, I guess. I wear Boston Celtic underwear for every game. Is that too personal? And then in football, the only superstition I have is I never wear a tie. I always wear an orange tie, but I never wear a tie that's got a loss in it.
I like to say a little prayer before every game and you know, thank God for the opportunity to do the games and to honor him with the job that I do, and the players play hard and all that kind of thing. And that's meaningful to me, and I do that, you know, 10 minutes before tip-off.
Kesling and Bertelkamp will forever be legends in Tennessee history for their years of service to Tennessee athletics. But one thing they want you to remember.
We're retired, not dead.
Yeah, that's right.
In Indianapolis, Alexi Cowan and Kylie Atchison, Vol News.
We also had a team down in Birmingham, Alabama, covering the women's March Madness.
Holland, Luke, and Toby will tell you all about it.
Hey guys, Luke Lamry here alongside Holland Hines and Toby Fagan behind the camera. We have just arrived at Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, we've done what we can to prepare for that. We don't really look back. We are hopeful that we're a new team and it's a different game. They're playing really well right now too, and anything can happen in March, but we just need to make sure that we are playing like we have our last 2 games.
Well, you got to talk to Caldwell. I talked to Sarah Puckett.
I've given my all for this university and for this program, and you know, being a Lady Vol, I've taken pride in that.
Spencer tipped by Hollingshed. Spencer got it. Now Spencer into the lane. Turnaround jumper, the free throw line. Got it on a foul. Held it. Now Spencer's going to drive into the lane. Puts up a scoop shot. Got it. And one.
Live at the half in Legacy Arena, I'm Luke Lamry alongside Toby Fagan. Score at the half, Toby, 34-30. Longhorns up on the Lady Vols right now in a half that's been highlighted by a 13-point run from the Longhorns. But I will say, the Lady Vols, they've been physical. They've been boxing out, and they've been getting those rebounds, Toby, just like Kim Caldwell said yesterday, being physical without those fouls.
Up and off balance shot. Gets the roll for 2. And here for Tennessee. Whitehorn with the top of the key. Whitehorn drives right side lane, off the glass and good.
Okay, well, how did you feel about the Lady Vols' performance today?
Not happy. I felt like they could have done a lot better. They missed a lot of easy shots, layups, free throws, turnovers. They weren't the Lady Vols I saw last week.
How did you feel about the Lady Vols' performance today?
I think it was good. I know it wasn't enough, but, you know, they have been impressive all year. I mean, to see what the coach has done with traditional, power institution and program has been phenomenal. So good show today, I think.
Final score here in Birmingham, 59-67, and the Lady Vols take a tough loss to the Longhorns. And one look at the stat sheet tells you all you need to know. The Lady Vols shooting less than 20% from beyond the arc, 4 for 10 from the free throw line, and it proved to be their demise. They had to foul in the final minutes, down 5, and it proved to send Texas to the Elite Eight. Sends the Lady Vols home, and it'll send TVC home as well. I'm Luke Lamry in front of the camera, Holland Hines and Toby Fagan back there as well. We'll see you back in Knoxville next time right here on TVC.
By now, you already know of the journeys both the men's and women's teams took this year in the March Madness tournament. But what you might not know is where the journey began for the women's basketball.
Our Luke Lamry spoke with 2 women's basketball historians on the story of the game's extensive rise to popularity.
It's the 43rd Women's NCAA Tournament, and it doesn't come without its history. The tournament was instilled in 1982, almost 10 years after Title IX was founded. Women's basketball historian Susan Shackelford says the tournament's made progress.
I think it's come a long way. I think in the 90s it really hit a pretty high pitch and it became hard to get tickets.
In their book, Shattering the Glass, there are several of the great names in women's sports lining the pages. But you can't mention the Women's NCAA Tournament without mentioning one of the greatest coaches of all time, Pat Summitt.
Part of what really propelled that earlier peak was the success of Tennessee.
Summitt was a tough coach, and she was hard on her players. Some were able to work and learn from her, others weren't.
Where one day she ran all these suicide drills and there were 4 players and she said they went running in the last one and they ran up the steps of the gym and I never saw them again.
Summitt even coached and played at the same time. She played on the first ever women's Olympic basketball team.
And she had to work hard to be able to be in that Olympics because she had a bum knee. And she really got there with that knee and played, and that was the first time women played basketball in the Olympics.
Summitt worked for years to try to get more media coverage for women's basketball. But viewers finally had to turn their heads when another legendary coach emerged from UConn, Gino Auriemma. The fierce rivalry between the 2 contrasting personalities made for enthralling games.
But you know, she had a very different personality.
Yeah, she had kind of dignity, a kind of controlled dignity that Gino didn't have.
Players came and went, but the rivalry remained until Pat's retirement in 2012. Pat reigned at the top of all basketball coaches with 8 national championships. She not only made a name for herself, but also women in sports as a whole.
He said, okay, take care of what you need.
Wow.
And so Pat was part of that group, and there are a lot of really outstanding women that came from that group that filtered into basketball.
Pamela and Susan said that Pat is one of the many driving reasons behind the growth of women's basketball. For the Volunteer Channel, I'm Luke Lamry.
Thanks, Luke.
Tennessee is coming off a successful trip to Washington for the NCAA Swim and Dive Championships. On day 2 of the event, the Vols won 2 national championships, one in the 50-free and one in the 200 free relay. Jordan Crooks won the 50 free for the 2nd time in his career. The 200 free relay, Crooks, Guy Caribe, Nikolai Blackman, and Lamar Taylor won yet another gold.
After a day 3 where the Vols broke several school records, the Vols got their 3rd national championship with the 400 free relay lineup of Caribe, Taylor, Blackman, and Crooks, who broke their own NCAA record. Tennessee finished 5th overall.
For the women's championship in the 50 free final, Camille Spink recorded Tennessee's best finish since 2019, taking 4th overall. The last Lady Vol to record a top 5 spot in the event was 2-time Olympian and program record holder Erica Brown, who won silver.
In the 100 breast final, Mona McSherry and Mackenzie Soroki took 2nd and 3rd. The Lady Vols also finished in 5th overall, their 2nd straight year of finishing top 5 in the country. This past weekend, the Lady Vols pulled off an incredible 2-1 series win over number 2 Oklahoma, the reigning champions, in Norman. This series win snapped the Sooners' 19-game home winning streak and makes the Lady Vols one of 3 teams to win a series in Norman since 2006. Game 1 started with a 5-2 win in extra innings, and Game 3 wrapped up the series win with a 5-3 win.
Standout performers from the weekend include McKenna Gibson and Laura Mueller, who both produced at the plate all weekend. And of course, Carlin Pickens dominated in the mound, earning her National and SEC Player of the Week honors. The Lady Vols improved to 30-7, and they will begin their next SEC series today against Mississippi State right here in Sherry Parker-Lee Stadium.
The dream is to go to the next level and everything like that, but I'm here now and I want to pitch here, and that's kind of the biggest thing for me.
The Tennessee baseball team is coming off a road SEC series sweep against South Carolina in Columbia last weekend.
We've been fortunate enough to have success, but we're still trying to find ourselves. Maybe Russell kind of brings something new to it too, and it's an addition, but there's other subtractions and Grimmer, and still trying to find out our best version of ourselves, and they're obviously doing the same thing too.
Led by homers from Dalton Bargo and Hunter Ensley, the Vols won 11-7 in Game 1. In Game 2, a 2-run go-ahead homer from Cannon Peebles gave the Vols a 7-5 win. In the final game of the series, the Vols dominated South Carolina 7-2 with a dominant outing from Tegan Coons and Braden Krenzel.
In the midweek matchup, the Vols took on a familiar in-state opponent with the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. The Vols dominated 7-1, a far cry from the past 3 years. 3 Vols hit two homers. The Vols are back in action this weekend against Texas A&M. Men's tennis took down Vanderbilt 4-3 at Goodford Tennis Center. And the number 16 Vols are on a roll as this marks their 7th consecutive conference win. The rain forced the Vols inside, where they continued their momentum and rallied for the win.
Women's tennis is ranked 6th in the country after falling to number 2 Texas A&M. The doubles pairs dominated, but the singles could not keep it going. The Lady Vols face Florida today right here on Rocky Top.
3rd-ranked Tennessee Rowing just wrapped up a top 3 matchup against 2nd-ranked Stanford in Oak Ridge last Saturday. The Lady Vols kept it close in each race, but ended up losing to the Cardinal. They'll be back in action in Oak Ridge this weekend with the first ever Rocky Top invite, where the Lady Vols will host North Carolina, Duke, UCF, Minnesota, and Clemson.
Yeah, but sports goes beyond the field at UTK. It's also on computer screens. This April 11th through the 13th, UTK Esports presents their annual Vol-Land, the largest gaming tournament on campus. The tournament will feature fan-favorite games like Valorant, Overwatch 2, Marvel Rivals, Smash Bros, and more.
Taking place at the Student Union Ballroom, this year's Vol-Land tournament is more than just a competition. It celebrates esports. Students from all over will come together to connect and compete. The VP of Marketing, Chantel Marivilla, shares what students can expect heading in.
And it's a pretty competitive space, but it's so much fun seeing like a bunch of college kids kind of come together to just play games, which is really fun and cool to me.
You do not want to miss out on the action. There will be a $350 pot bonus up for grabs for Smash Bros players. Get ready to game. Vol-Land is open to all students and is the ultimate way to connect, compete, celebrate the world of gaming. You can register for Vol-Land by visiting their Instagram at UTK Esports.
Our Maggie Schwerking had the chance to sit down and talk to Lady Vol golfer Bailey Davis. Let's see what she had to say.
Bailey Davis, a senior on the Lady Vols golf team, is a prominent leader, and I got the chance to sit down and talk with her about her goals.
I didn't realize how good I was until I started getting recruited by a lot of top schools.
Davis is a senior for the Lady Vols golf team, and her teammate, Isabella Johnson, says that she is known to be ambitious on the green.
Bailey is very confident on the golf course. You would never think she ever has a doubt.
When Bailey was asked about her short and long-term goals, this is what she had to say about them.
For my short-term goals, I want to win a college tournament. That's my goal as I close out my senior year. Long-term would be to be an LPGA champion. Like that's the main goal, to win a major.
Isabella says that Bailey takes all of her teammates under her wing and is an amazing role model.
I don't know what we're going to do without her, but she's awesome, and we're so lucky to have her.
Bailey's journey has been anything but easy. Throughout it all, she knows that she doesn't want her last putt to end with the Lady Vols.
And then throughout my college career, there's been some ups and downs, but within the past year, I'd say I've known that I want to continue playing for college and after.
In Knoxville with Vol News, I'm Maggie Shorking.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of the Rocky Top Sports Report. Before we toss it back to the desk, I gotta say happy birthday to my co-host on the Sports Report today. So happy birthday, Kylie. Thanks for being fantastic at what you do.
Thank you. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else on my birthday. But thank you guys for listening. Now back to Aubrey and Luke.
Happy birthday, and thank you guys very much.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kylie, seriously. We have more stories for you about activities on and around campus. A yoga class inside of an exhibit at the McClung Museum. Good job!
And a new face you can spot at Zoo Knoxville. Stay with us.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We are the Tennessee Volunteers. People who create connections, push boundaries, do the research that changes lives. We've got world-class academics and championship athletics. To be the best, you gotta learn from the best. And if you wanna lead, you gotta light the way. We've got what it takes. It takes a volunteer.
Welcome back, Vols. Tennessee baseball has a big series against Texas A&M this weekend, so let's see if the forecast will hold up for us. Today has been partly cloudy here in Knoxville. Temperatures are really starting to heat up for us, finally starting to feel like spring and summer. We will see a high of 85 later this afternoon. The rain should hold up for us tonight for Game 1, however, we should feel some pretty strong wind gusts. The sun should really come out for us tomorrow. The UV will be around 8, making it perfect weather to lay out by the pool. Wind will make the high of 87 degrees feel slightly cooler for us too. Sunday should bring us some scattered showers and storms to end the weekend. Hopefully this holds up for Game 3. However, I would definitely plan for some poor weather. Temperatures will again reach a very warm 87 degrees. That's all the weather I have for you this week. We'll keep you posted on our social media with any severe weather updates. Until next week, back to you guys. Thanks, Lauren. Zoo Knoxville has gained their newest furry friend. Meet Django, a 10-year-old male Malayan tiger whose mission is to save his species from going extinct. Django is one of the most genetically valuable Malayan tigers in the world. He was brought to Zoo Knoxville in hopes to reproduce the 11-year-old female tiger, Batari.
With fewer than 200 Malin tigers existing, Zoo Knoxville's Director of Animal Collections, Phil Kolkloff, touches on the impact and the survival plan program and what this means for the future of the Malin species.
Factor when you have an animal that comes in here, you have to make sure that that their age is appropriate for this breeding, and you can try for a number of years. At some point, they're all living beings. They're going to get to an age that it's not responsible to try breeding with them. So this is just the next step in getting more baby Malayan tigers here on this planet.
I mean, who knew we had such a rare tiger right here in our backyard? Now the weather's getting nicer. Be sure to grab your friends and take the 13-minute drive to support Django in his mission to save his own kind.
I don't know. That's enough to convince me to go, Luke. I don't know about you.
We have to go.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's set. It's set. It brings in $3 million to Knoxville every year, so the Covenant Health Knoxville Marathon steps off this Sunday morning, and students have been training for months.
While a marathon is no easy task in itself, the Knoxville course may make it more difficult for runners. Our Alexa Durbin spoke to students about their training experience. Alexa?
That's right. While it's already quite a challenge to run over 26 miles at once, try running it on Rocky Top. I spoke with a student who has been preparing for the hilly course for months now.
Stepping into spring. For some, it's more of a race.
I started training in November and I can't believe it's already time. I'm super excited and the weather looks great, so I'm ready to go.
UT freshman Audrey Parham is taking on the 26.2 miles of the Knoxville Marathon for the first time.
It's been a great way to stay active and have a set plan, because sometimes I feel like when you get to college it's hard to know what to do or when to do it, but I've learned a lot about myself throughout the process and I'm really excited to finally cross it off my bucket list.
But she also has another goal on that bucket list.
I'm hoping to qualify for the Boston Marathon, but we'll see how it goes.
What's unique about the course here on Rocky Top is, of course, the hills. And while runners in other areas might not have to worry, here, runners might have to focus harder on their mile time.
They come at you right off the bat. There's no way getting around them, and you just have to mentally prepare to go through those hills until you finish the course.
Zach Davis says it's all about knowing what to do when those hills come. He ran the Knoxville Marathon last year, and he says even though Knoxville has the tough hills, it also has the biggest support system.
The whole community of Knoxville comes out to cheer for you. There's people every step of the way, giving you drinks, snacks, whatever you need, and just cheering you on to make sure you finish.
And for Audrey, she's ready for the Tennessee hills.
Usually when I train for hills, I just shorten my stride length and focus on my breathing. Really helps keep your heart rate down, because that's kind of the biggest thing is if you continue the same pace up the hill, you're going to be dead at the top.
From one finish line to the next.
Since I've been training on the course for all of my other runs and how fast I've been going then, would it be Boston qualifying time? I'm feeling pretty confident.
In Knoxville, Alexa Durbin, TVC News.
Keep in mind that several major roads like Kingston Pike, James White Parkway, and Neyland Drive will be closed off Sunday morning starting at 7:05 as the marathon kicks off at 7:30 in World's Fair Park. You can expect those roads to open back up as the first half of the race ends around 9:45 and the second half by 1 p.m. You can check the course map and more race information by visiting KnoxvilleMarathon.com. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Alexa.
Yoga is a relaxing art often done in studios, but our Sarah Ann spoke to instructors to learn more about why yoga at the museum isn't just ideal, it's the perfect place.
Inhale halfway up.
Sometimes, peace can be found in the most unexpected of places.
Back into plank position.
McClung Museum, except people aren't here for the art or the history, they're here for the yoga.
It's really peaceful and it's a unique space to do yoga among all the art that's surrounding us.
Where anyone and everyone can come together for free every month to exercise or even for a break.
Movement that really makes their bodies feel good, no matter how much you move, how often you move, your shape, your size, your gender.
And just breathe.
When breathing is involved and stretching and mindfulness, it just makes you feel so good by the end.
A practice important to these instructors and one we often forget to do ourselves.
It's just a nice way to slow down, and we don't often get to slow down and breathe, right?
Enriching the mind and the body in the most unexpected of ways.
So yoga's a really nice fit in that it kind of brings this health aspect, some benefits of just kind of intentional breathing and movement into a space surrounded by beautiful things.
Which is why for students like Daphne Kanar, the question of whether to return wasn't really a question at all.
So peaceful. Yeah. Like the lighting, the environment, everything was perfect.
It was a definite yes.
I will for sure come back in April.
If you're ever feeling stressed from school and looking to take a relaxation a step further with Museum Yoga, the class will be offered every month school is in session. So keep a lookout in your student email for the next class. I mean, I think we have to sign up.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know. I'm looking for some relaxation myself.
That's sadly all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Luke Lamry.
And I'm Aubrey Kern. Make sure to follow us at TVC News Now for the latest updates. Have a great weekend.